After 38 years of living on this planet, these are my top 5 things that I wish I knew sooner that would make life a lot easier, that would allow me to not stay stuck for so long when I'm trying to make change, when I'm working on improving my life or accomplishing certain goals. These are my top 5 things. Now, of course, it's hard to condense down 38 years of living to 5 things. That's also why I share all this stuff on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and subscribe, because I share more about what I learn as I go through life. But these top 5 things will give you that kickstart if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling doubt right now. These top 5 things are my go-tos. So let's get right into it. The first one is, I wish that I would have known that you cannot heal from the life that you're performing. You're going to have to accept that your life will no longer look like what it looks like now. And that could bring up some fear, doubt, and overwhelm, because you're not quite sure what that even looks like and how that's going to affect other people around you. But if you're living a life right now that you don't feel safe in, that you're performing like you're calm or that you're okay when you're really not, I would argue that that has more negative effect than it would that future change. Because that future change, you're going to be a better version of yourself so you can show up better, not only for yourself, but for others around you. And so for me, I wasn't being honest with myself. I felt trapped. I just talked about this in my last video, where I felt caged in my own home. And I'm not talking about a physical home. I'm talking about my mind and my body. And I felt like at that point, anger builds up, and then shame, and then from that, resentment. And that is a dangerous place to be. And so I was carrying expectations and people pleasing, again, wearing a mask and living a life that I was not happy with. It was not my authentic self. And you're going to hear authenticity a lot nowadays. But again, this is not performing anything. This is your true self. And I think the a hard part of this comes from the fact that a lot of us may not even know who we truly are because we never had that time. And we find it hard to sit with ourselves long enough to even see and uncover what is there. Because we're running from things. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit about running, but my first one is that you cannot heal from life that you're performing. So we're going to have to go deeper. And these 5 things, we're going to go deep here. Okay. So you have to live more authentic. But that's going to require you to do some self-discovery. That is a big part of what I share here on YouTube, is self-discovery. And that is a journey that you go on. No one else can do it for you. Okay, so that was my first one. We're going to get into number 2. I wish I knew that your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Again, we're trying to perform, we're trying to live a life that is not truly us. It's expectations, it's a box that someone else built for us, it's society, things that we've learned to condition our culture, what we grew up in. It's a lot of noise, y'all. I am, as you can see, in an airport right now. But, and I also have a delay. It's going to be a long day, so I'm going to go ahead and knock this video out now. So we're going to try to cope with our life and continue to play this role, although it's getting played out and the box is shrinking because you're growing and you have to break through the box. That's that discomfort that you're feeling. Your body's holding on to these emotions and your mind is trying to logically process it all. But you've hit a block, you've hit a point, because again, we're in this box and it can only expand so much. But your body remembers all those emotions. Your body remembers those memories, even if you try to forget those things that happened to you, the trauma, those experiences, all those things that built up, that resentment that I talked about, that shame, all of that has built up and it is in your body, it's trapped in your body. I talk about this often on my channel. Energy will get trapped in your body. The book, The Body Keeps the Score, is a very good book. And this is scientifically proven, like this is literal. I'm not making things up here. Okay. Like, I researched this stuff, I learned about it, I did it because I wanted to get out of my situation, so I started learning more about personal development, and I went on my own personal self-discovery journey. That's why I share this, because I've been through this. Through researching, learning, reading books, listening to podcasts, all the things, experimenting on myself, on all the different levels. You cannot logically process out things, like everything, you cannot. And again, you're hitting this wall, this point, you're feeling stuck, feeling trapped, because you keep trying to logically figure it out. And that's not going to work. Your body remembers. So, your body is going to store all those emotions. And my suggestion would be you have to feel those things. Again, we keep trying to run. You're going to have to feel these emotions. They're going to come up. You need to address them. You need to bring awareness to it and name it. Okay? Your mind is going to keep trying to reject it because it is a safety mechanism. Because you want to feel calm in your nervous system. You want to feel safe. So you're going to reject a lot of these things to continue to try and be comfortable and stay in that place. But it's hard work. But it is worth going through that to get to the next level. Okay? So I try to change my environment. I try to logically figure it all out, learn all the things, get the motivation, all the guys out, change my physical environment by moving cities, by traveling, doing these other things. But then there comes the time where it's Thanksgiving, everything's closed except for the pizza place, and all I'm doing is sitting there eating pizza by myself. It gets lonely. And that's when you have to really tap into what is going on when you feel out of place. And those are times where you hit like rock bottom, basically. Those are thresholds. And again, you can stay there or we can get past it. But in order to get past it, you have to dive deeper. And deeper, I'm talking about your subconscious, your unconscious beliefs. Those emotions trapped in your body that you suppressed for so long. You're going to have to deal with that. Now, there's different modalities of therapy that you can use to assist you in processing those out of your body. But that is a process, and it is one that you should go on. So, number 2 would be to release those things from your body that your mind tries to logically figure out. Okay, number three out of my top 5 things I wish I knew sooner is going to be, and I already talked about this, running doesn't free you. Okay, running does not free you. You have to face yourself. Literally, these all kind of flow together. They all go together. But running is avoidance. It's numbing yourself with substances or just other things. It could be the TV. It could be scrolling, doom scrolling. It could be isolation. There's a healthy level of it and there's an unhealthy level of it. Okay, it's staying busy. Again, we're distracting ourselves. These are forms of self-abandonment. You're running from something, trying to avoid. Sorry about the noise again. I'm going to pause for a second. It is self-abandonment, and nothing's going to change. It is temporary fixes, and those things only last for so long, and they're not satisfying to you anymore. Again, this is why you are feeling stuck. This is why you're feeling trapped in cage. Nothing feels right. You don't even feel anything anymore. You're numb now. What's the point? Is there even meaning to anything? It's because you're avoiding dealing with what is truly in you. You need to tap back into your soul on a soul level. And so, let's see what else we got here. You need to start expressing instead of suppressing energy and motion. You need to get those emotions out. We just talked about that. We can do therapy, but you can also do art, dance, move, walk, work out, cry. This is a releasing of the energy in your body. Those emotions in your body. It is a type of energy. It's an energetic force that you want to release. We can journal as well. There are different things you can do to release this. But again, if you're suppressing, if you're avoiding, if you're self-abandoning because you don't want to look at these things, because you feel shame that comes up, you're never going to get past this. You're never going to get past the wall. You're never going to break free. You're never going to level up fully to your potential that you know that you can live out and be. And you can be that for others around you too. But if you keep running, you're not going to heal these things. You're not going to get deep down to the core of who you truly are, who you know you can be. And actually feel again. Actually feel like yourself again. Actually find what you like. Learn more about yourself. This is the self-discovery again. It's not authenticity. How do you even know what you like? How do you know what you really want? What is your purpose here? I believe that you start living life with passion. How can you do that if you feel like it's meaningless? If you're holding on to stuff, if you're abandoning yourself and you feel like other people should love you, other people should do these things for you, no, it starts from that you should love yourself. And then you build up your self worth, your value, and you know what to accept. You know the boundaries to set in place. And you can teach others then that it is okay to move through life in this way, and they can then change themselves. This is how you can change your communities, people in your home, your communities, your friends. You will impact them as well by living it out. Just telling people things is not going to change them, and that's going to leave you disappointed. And you don't also want to abandon them, but you can't abandon yourself first. You put your mask on first. Okay. And then number 4 of the things that I wish I knew sooner to make life a bit easier is that emotions are not problems, they are directions. If you're following along, you can see that this is progressing here. Starting from some issues, going deep, and then we're figuring out how to clear it out. All right? Emotions are not problems, they are directions. Or we can say symptoms for you to look at. So when things happen in your body, you get a symptom, you go to the doctor to figure out what is going on. Okay? These are emotions are symptoms trying to tell you something. They are not who you are. It is not your identity. Okay? You do not have to identify with these emotions. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it doesn't mean that you are failing. You should give up. It is a symptom. Okay? If you are feeling lost, it doesn't mean that you're going backwards or that you are stuck and you're a lost cause either. Okay? Emotions are an inner compass. Overwhelm can mean that you need boundaries, better boundaries. Sadness can mean that there needs to be a release. Maybe you need to cry. Okay, dance, move your body. There needs to be a release. Anger may mean that there is some truth that needs to be spoken. You're holding on to something. Okay. Numbness may mean that you need rest. It doesn't mean to continue to numb yourself and distract yourself. Jealousy may mean that you need to get more in alignment, because it may not be those things that you really want, but it's those emotions behind those things that you want. So get into alignment. Anxiety may mean that you need some safety or clarity. Do not sit in those emotions. Process them. Understand what the underlying thing is. They are directions to what it is that your body is telling you that it needs. Okay? The moment that I stopped fighting my feelings and my emotions that were coming up, trying to suppress it, trying to logically process it all and figure it all out, the moment that I started listening to them, allowing them to come up and addressing what they were saying, moving my body and getting it out of my body, I started to be able to tap deeper into myself, to gain more clarity and confidence, to knowing at that point. You don't need someone else's outside validation for that. This is a deeper level of knowing, understanding, and clarity. This is where we're going to get more direction in life. This is where we can show up fuller and more authentic at this point now. Because we have the shame is no longer there. I mean, it comes up, it's like we're human, but it's not there holding you back to where you self-abandon anymore and to where you fear judgment and all these things. You are now able to say, yeah, these things happen. Yeah, this is how I feel. Yeah, I did that. But I'm no longer that person. Here are my boundaries. Or I need rest. Or I need to express in this way. Or I need to have these hard conversations, whatever that thing is for you. But this is how you build confidence, though. Because you slowly start to incorporate these new habits, these new traits, these new things that you value because you're now more in alignment, which will take me to number 5, the top 5 things I wish I knew sooner in life as a 38-year-old on planet Earth, is that I knew that alignment isn't spiritual talk. Alignment is a sort of energetic economics. I talked about this in another video about your energy bank and how we withdraw from it when we give to others, but we can also replenish it. And so you have to know what you want to give to and what you don't want to give to anymore. We don't want to say yes to things when we mean no. because that's withdrawing from our bank, and now we're depleted, and now we don't have enough for us to give to the different areas that we feel passionate about. That's why we don't really have the passion anymore, because we're so depleted in those areas. So we need to pour back into ourselves. But we need to learn what those things are that will pour back into us. That's learning ourselves. Again, self-discovery. Okay. So this one, it took me a while to learn, is being how to get into alignment, because I had to go deep. I tried all these surface level things, and it was a part of my process, and I learned it. But I had to go deep, and then I had to reverse engineer after that. So this is kind of like a reverse engineer. We just went deep for the top 4. Now this 5th one is like a reverse engineering of it. It is coming back into alignment. And once we figure these things out, we've dealt with all these emotions, we've learned how we can express and get it out. When we get these symptoms that come up, now we're able to move through life in more of alignment and authenticity. Okay. I spent a lot of time just trying to be disciplined, and I just struggled trying to keep that motivation and be disciplined and to be efficient and productive and all these things. But I was still abandoning myself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Okay. And you cannot build when you don't have the energy, when you're depleted. Like I said, if you don't have that true passion, and we're not pouring back into those areas, it's very hard for you to even build. Even if you know the things that you want to do, it is hard to build from there. Okay, you can't create from survival mode. We need to get out of that mode, but there's a level of safety that you have to show your nervous system. So that's what we're getting to. So now we feel safer in our body and in our home. Now we come more to alignment, and that's when things start to flow. So we stop the forcing, we stop all of that. We know that there will be resistance, and on the other side of resistance, because we figured out those things that we have resistance with, and we're not afraid of it anymore, we're going to continue to move. Once we make it to the other side of that, now we have learned these things. So we're going to pour more into ourselves with nutrition, with rest, with hydration. Okay. The thing is, it wasn't that I wasn't getting things done because I didn't want to do them or anything like that. It was because they weren't in alignment with me. And Marie Forleo talks about this, about procrastination could be because of fear or misalignment. So fear would be fear of success or failure, judgment, shame, again, these emotions, or procrastination would be from misalignment because you actually don't feel passionate about it. You don't really want it at the soul level, so you're not going to put the energy and effort into it. If you really wanted it, it's really what you desire, and inside, it will never leave you. It's going to continue to be there. And so that thing, and it's going to keep building up and building up. So you need to express, you need to move in that, so you won't continue to procrastinate at a certain point. But again, we need to build our energy up, which is the rest, the hydration, the nutrition, those things. I will talk more about those as we go forward on this channel. But true alignment is now that our nervous system is calm and all this, now we can nourish ourselves. Now we can move forward with a knowing. Okay. And the alignment helps you decide now what you want to prioritize. These are your new habits, your beliefs. You've now changed your beliefs, because once you dealt and process out a lot of that stuff, you're not identifying with those emotions and things. You have a new identity, and that new identity carries new beliefs. Those new beliefs mean that you're going to move through life differently. Your habits are going to look different. You're going to show up differently. You may not know what that looks like now, and that is okay. You don't need to know the whole thing. You just need to take the first few steps. So I hope that you found something in this video. Again, sorry about the noise. You start today, something small. Remember, these are not big changes. The big change is making the decision that you will no longer live life the same way. That is it. You decide. Once you decide, then we make small steps, small micro baby steps, small habit changes. If something in this video hit you today, go ahead and subscribe, give me a like, a thumbs up on this video, leave me a comment. What was one of the things that I talked about today that really hit you, maybe gave you a new perspective, or something that you're going to start to do today, the small step, going towards this new version of yourself, because you know that box that you've been in is no longer fitting you. You need to break out of it, take up space. It is okay to take up space, but this is a part of building your self-worth, your value, and you know that when you do that, you can show up fuller in the world and make some real change, be the change that you want to see. And as always, continue to shine on. There you go. Take care.